Welcome to the Peace Place. I'm Judy Penman of Prams, founder of the Peace Movement, and I invite you into a place where it's possible to fulfill everything we ever dreamed. It's in the arms of God, the creator of the universe, the one who knows it all about everything all the time. And we can learn to walk submitted in the abundant life that God has for us. And this morning I bring to you a prayom, pretty unusual name, but as I sought the face of God after studying so many ways of the world and world religions and many of the leadership offerings and much that's offered in the world today as solutions. I studied that and got to the end of that and found that it was usually void of a loving, responsive, directive, guiding God who goes before us and is our rear guard. I, as God tells us, choose ye this day, choose life or death, choose life and choose it abundantly. I said I would love that, oh God, and all I know is the ways that I've learned and the ways of man. And I said, but if you'll teach me how to abide, I will um, be a vessel for your spirit. Do whatever you need to do with me to fulfill the plan that you have for me. You have a plan for human beings. You have a plan to use us as pure as holy vessels. And inside of that plan, you know how to make us useful. And with love as our foundation. So I invite you today to join me in that quest, to join me on that journey. And I share with you the prayer today says, yes, God knows and is able. So, God, we just give ourselves to you now. Touch each heart wherever they are. Show people the truth of your love that is ever present and everlasting and eternal. So, yes, God knows and is able. Yes, God peels back all layers, unlike his love plan. As we learn to abide and rest in his mighty hand, he reveals all ploys, detouring our pathways, then corrects and guides all our steps each day. We stand and walk in peace, guided by his power, filling our mouths with his wisdom each hour, searching, healing, and restoring our hearts. So as we walk in our planned part. Until now, we thought we had to lead our way, but you, mighty God, drawing and revealing today your glory as we submit and seek your face. We're grateful you have a plan for this race. We're grateful you see deeper than the color of skin. We're grateful for your healing power so we can begin to walk each day, seeing and living. You see all, believing you hold the keys to turn around our next fall, our tumbling into fear, fill divisive man's ways. Your strategies correct and bring justice these hard days. Draw us to your heart and reveal your peaceful foundation as we trust and believe and learn to stand in the station you assigned. You teach as we seek you and live with you in first place, the place with you on the throne, seeing all, and will erase all error, forgive, heal, and restore all we've wronged. Holy God, will you embrace us and release your love song of communion? And as you do, will you draw us and help us to hear right? Touch each heart, release mercy, replacing man's might. Help us turn and bow to the mighty truth of your ways as we find and walk our paths you spoke for these days. As I got to the place that I realized that God is speaking all of the time, and yet I knew little about listening. I knew little about who God really is and who his character is. I had only learned about the punitive, distant, angry, condemning God and stayed away from that for 40 years. But as God recaptured my heart after a long walk through the wilderness, he captured me completely. And I had studied man's mind for so long and realized man's mind and man's understanding and man's agendas and man's ways ultimately are very divisive and very destructive as they are played out as we see in the world today. We have to learn to discern the voice of love, the voice of God, rather than following the well financed ways of division and destruction today. We don't have to continue to be that way. There is a God who knows and who is love and who is able to not only save us from all that mess, but he can heal us, restore us, correct us, and teach us rightly and mold us into useful vessels so we can be part of the solution rather than part of the problem, as we do because we live so ignorant of the life and the love and the guidance of God. But we can learn how to do that. So I invite you, if you're interested in this journey, to walk with us. It is called the Peace Movement. It is a way to learn to let go of all of the habits and the patterns and the divisive, destructive ways that we've learned, and understand and know intimately the heart and the love of God and be guided by that. If you're interested, join us at the Peace Movement. You can learn to go from that place of peace within. We can then learn to bring peace in relationships because we will have the peace and the connection, the one that knows it all and knows the path and the plan that he has for us. And then ultimately, as we come together as the Peace Movement, grounded in the love and the truth of God, we can then reflect the image of God and bring that to the world and be part of a good agenda that will bring healing and restoration and God's will to earth. So you can subscribe on our channel here. You can tell other people around us. You can find us at thepeacemovements.com. There are many peace movements you're going to see there, but I invite you to search them until you find the one that is the peace of God that passes all understanding, who is willing to mold and reshape each one of us to be useful vessels to bring the peace and love and joy of God and the power of God back to the earth, correct things that are wrong. So if this is interesting to you, I invite you to join us. And this is Judy wishing you peace, love, and blessings for this day, signing off with love.